Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Magnifique with me, your host, Gabrielle Forshee. How are we doing? Tell me about your weekend. Did you guys go to Mardi Gras? As I'm filming this, Mardi Gras is this coming weekend, so it hasn't happened yet, but I do think that we are going downtown, which makes me a wee bit nervous, just because there's going to be so many people and I don't like crowded spaces, so I am the DD. If I am under the influence, I will not be having a great time. So I would rather just not have the best time. Sober. So I will be the DD at Mardi Gras. I do think it'll be fun. I'm just going to be anxious the entire time. Because also, a lot of people makes me think of a situation that America is known for. And that's not fun at all, in the slightest even. So I'll let you know how it goes. It's going to be fun. I'm going to have a great time. Just right now, I'm kind of pondering all of the options that could happen, and that is one of them. So that has been so fun for my brain to work out. Also, seasonal depression has been kicking my butt. To be quite frank with you, this past weekend, so when you're hearing this 2 weekends ago, she was rough. I was not good. And to be honest, still not the best. But if you were to ask me in real life, we're going with, "Oh, I'm so good. Thank you so much for asking. I have never actually been better in my entire life." And that is due to me lying. But hopefully when you're hearing this, I'm not lying anymore. And, we're chilling. We're good. I've just been doing my best. It's not really like sadness. It's more of, early 20s loss. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I know I have a very clear vision of who I'm supposed to be. I don't know how to get there. How'd she get there? We're all just figuring out. I won't bore you with my spiral. That's what's going on. How's my garden going? I'm so glad that you asked. So I planted a few seeds. I have 100 seeds. I'm starting them all from seed because it's cheaper than just purchasing the plants, and I'm a girl of budget. I love a good budget. I love a good money hack. I have yet to eat today, but I have been thinking about what I want to eat. And I have 2 hyperfixations at the present. 4 cheese toasted ravioli and just a Greek yogurt peanut butter bowl. Those have been my 2 hyperfixations, and I'm trying to decide which one I want to have for lunch. I haven't decided. I am leaning toward the toasted ravioli, but I think that my body will thank me if I have the yogurt bowl. Sorry, we derailed. My garden. I have started to see a few seeds germinate because I mess with the dirt with a toothpick to see how they're doing, and I shouldn't. I should just let them be, but I'm impatient. How about that? So I'm really, really proud of how patient I have been, seeing as it's been less than 2 weeks and I haven't given up. So that's really, really awesome for me. Someone give me an award for best plant parent. But in my little seed garden, I have multiple dahlia variety. I'm really excited for my dahlia garden. I can't express that enough. Just the thought of it, I could maybe sob, perhaps. So I have multiple dahlia variety. I have some lavender. I have sage. I have multiple aster variety, sweet pea, stock. And then I'm needing to buy some climbing roses because I'm a little dum-dum and bought rose seeds, thinking that, I could do it myself. But I also learned that they need a long little process before they even start to germinate. I'll just be buying bushes and then kind of plant my roses in the fall when their process starts. So yeah, I'm just starting my plants indoors, kind of getting ready for the spring. I'm feeling really good. I love this. I'm having fun. Woo! What else has been going on? If you hate these intros, go ahead and skip to like maybe the 10-minute mark. I've got some intro topics. I've also finally have a vision of what I want my adult personal style to look like. And I like to call it timeless femininity. I don't really know how to describe it other than timelessly feminine. It's basically basic pieces that are feminine, but that I can take throughout every era of my life and that I can carry with me forever. In this, I'm really focusing on well-made products, quality over quantity. So it's going to be a very slow curation, but I'm so excited for it. If you're curious about what timeless femininity looks like, because I really do think I just made up that word, although Pinterest does know what I mean. So if you're interested in what I mean, follow me on Pinterest, Gabrielle Forshee. It's not like a complicated name, but I'll also put it in the show notes if you would like. So if you don't understand what I mean by timelessly feminine, it's in the show notes. Please have a look-see. I'm really excited to curate my adult personal style. Like I said, I think we can all agree that our sense of style was very messed up by the pandemic and staying inside. So I'm both here to help you and you're here to help me figure out what we like to wear, what is our personal style, and how do we curate the fashion style of our dreams. So overall, I am quite excited about that, to be quite honest. What else? I am officially an iPad adult. I have recently moved all of my social media off of my phone and onto my iPad. And honestly, I think I'm really enjoying it. There have been moments in time where I have just deleted all my social medias off my phone so that I'm not using it as much. But I think this is the most realistic route for me to take because I still get my social media. I still am not like depriving myself, but I'm also more mindful of when I'm using my social media and the time that I allocate to my iPad because I don't use it regularly. I use it daily, but it's like maybe 1 to 2 hours. When last week before I implemented this, it was 8 to 10. So progress is being made. And that's all I really care about. I need my phone with me at all times. But I don't need TikTok with me at all times. I am trying to adapt time and place for my socials. This week, we have in store a deep dive episode. I love doing and listening to deep dive episodes because I just get to learn something while I'm driving or hanging out, laying on my couch. I like to learn. I'm a big learner. I loved school. Little fun fact about me. I was never like honors student, but I was 3.0, 3.5 student GPA. I really enjoyed school. I love learning. But I'm needing to let you know, and I'm needing you to know that today's topic is ever developing with very few in-depth scholarly resources. Today, we discuss Francis Krukdjian and his perfume empire. So this man is still alive and young. He is in his 50s. So there hasn't been much time to curate everything in his whole life history. So I've done my best. I hope you enjoy. And usually, I also have this note that I thought was really funny, and I forgot to say it. So this man is still alive and very young. He's 54. Usually when you think of luxury bigwigs, they're supposed to be like, dead, or just decrepit, very old. So this man, he's young. There's not too much on him. I did my best. Let's get into it. So a brief synopsis of who this man is. So Francis Krukdjian is both a person and a brand. I'm not sure if you've heard of Maison Francis Krukdjian, the perfume company, but they are, I don't want to say one and the same, but Francis Krukdjian runs Maison Francis Krukdjian. I also have only ever heard people say his last name. I've never actually heard him say his last name. So go ahead and bully me if I say it wrong. Okay, hold on. So prior to this episode's research, I did not know that maison in French meant house or brand. So I may have previously thought it was a title given to people for their accomplishments. I've seen maison in a couple of French brands, i.e. Maison Francis Krukdjian, Maison Louis Marie, Maison Margiela. You get it. It goes on and on. Here I am thinking that they're just amazing perfumers, that they earned this title. Meanwhile, I didn't know the French language, and that was just brand Louis Marie, brand Margiela, house Margiela. Anyway, so the brand started in 2009. It focuses on luxury fragrances, smelling good, feeling good. The person is a French perfumer. And a perfumer, for those of you who aren't aware, is someone who creates and designs perfume fragrances. It's kind of exactly what it sounds like, but I just wanted to give that information to you just in case you were unaware. Francis Kurkdjian goes on to create some of the most iconic fragrances. Two of them that you may be familiar with is the ever-famous Baccarat Rouge 540 from his brand, Maison Francis Krukdjian. I also may go ahead and shorten it to MFK, because that's a mouthful. He's also the designer of Les Mails from Jean-Paul Gaultier. That's kind of how he ended up. But where did he come from? Where did he go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? So let's get into who Francis Krukdjian is and how he became an internationally renowned perfumer. Francis Krukdjian was born in May of 1969 to Armenian parents in Paris, France. And he came out ready to rule the fragrance game. So much so that AngelaVinrose.com called him a modern-day Leonardo da Vinci. He knew his love of fragrance at a young age. At the age of 13, 14, he was playing with his sister's little collection of sample perfumes. And he's quoted as saying, "She was into the bottles, I was into what was inside." And you know what? Great philosophical take. Aside from being perfume royalty, let's go ahead and humanize this man here. He's just like us. He loves to cook. He loves to garden. It's noted that he loved and grew up around roses and jasmine and lavender, just the best floral scents to perhaps exist ever. Francis Krukdjian would go on to attend International Perfume Institute, ISIPCA, in Versailles, one of the best French schools that specialize in fragrance and cosmetics. In 1995, he was only 24, but then he created one of the most successful perfumes, Les Mails by Jean-Paul Gaultier. In 2001, I almost called it 2001, so that's so sick. In 2001, he came up with his tailor-made perfume shop in Paris, France. And not long after that, just in 2003, he launched his first artistic collab with Sophie Caille. Caille? I'm going to call her Sophie Caille, and then when I look it up after this recording, it's not going to be that, and I'm going to be so embarrassed. But just know I've neglected to look up how to pronounce her name. His website goes on to describe it as Soirées Nomade 2003. Artist Sophie Caille offered creative carte blanche for the first time. The moment of a well-worn dollar bill is a starting point. The smell of linen fiber, the animal scent of the ink, the dirt from constant handling. The creation was presented at the Cartier Foundation for Contemporary Art. Boom, we're in 2006. He goes ahead and produces his first olfactory installation in Versailles. Then in 2008, he was named Chevrolet des Arts at Delattre. LVMH defines his talents as this personality expresses codes as seductive as they are precise. Purity, sophistication, timelessness, and the boldness of reinvented classicism. I am kind of just needing you to know that I read the word classicism as classism on more than one occasion, on more than one website, many times. I was so confused, but it is classicism. In May of 2023, Maison Francis Krukdjian created and sponsored what Versailles calls the Perfumer's Garden. A quote from the garden's website was, "Hundreds of different perfume-making plants, grown in keeping with the spirit of the 17th century's Trianon gardens, will help build awareness of the history of fragrance at the court of Versailles." In the fall of 2021, Dior appointed Francis Krukdjian as its creative director of Perfume. He would now be succeeding François Demachi, who had then been the head honcho of Dior's fragrance for the last 15 years. In September of 2023, his first fragrance as Dior's perfume creator launched. How exciting! So that is Francis Krukdjian, but let's talk about Maison Francis Krukdjian, the brand. The brand was created in 2009 in Paris, France, following a meeting with now business partner Marc Chea. Marc Chea he started working for the global advisory firm Ernst & Young, and Ernst & Young is one of the big four accounting and auditing firms, along with Deloitte, KPMG, and PwC. And this company is very selective with who they hire, so it was kind of a green flag for Francis Krukdjian to be teaming up with Marc Chea. The brand is available in 59 countries. I could rattle them off for you off the top of my dome, but frankly, I don't want to do that to you. I know they're available in the United States of America. According to the MFK website, Francis Krukdjian imagined a fragrance territory of a free, sensual, and delicate perfectionism. It's unique and timeless scents that this brand specializes in. In 2016, the French luxury conglomerate LVMH acquired Maison Francis Krukdjian, and they've seemingly been thriving ever since. I learned about this perfume house through Perfume TikTok, which we did a deep dive a few weeks ago if you haven't already heard it. This brand got a new wave of love and devotion through the social media platform TikTok and Perfume TikTok. To me, this brand is the ultimate I've made it perfume line to wear. Everyone has their pillars of I've made it or success. And mine is when I get to regularly purchase and own MFK perfumes, I will know that I have made it. I am successful. I am rocking it. The most affordable perfume bottle that you can buy on their website, apart from samples, is $145. There are multiple perfumes for $145, but it gives you 1.2 fluid ounces. And there was one specific that I saw that kind of imprinted on my brain, and it was Aqua Celestia. It is a unisex, musky floral scent, and you can get 1.2 fluid ounces of it for $145. Genuinely, I don't regret splurging on perfume. It is my one thing that I will throw money at. So I do think the more you spend, the better quality, in a sense. But MFK is one of those brands that when I have the money, I'm having an MFK collection. There's no doubt about it in my entire mind. Let's talk about some of the most notable fragrances from Francis Krukdjian. I've mixed in some from his perfume house, but I've also brought in some that he's worked on, and he is the quote-unquote nose behind. So first, I want to tell you about my most loved scent of his, and it is Oud Satin Mood. It's from Maison Francis Krukdjian's website. It is from his brand, and though I don't wear it that often due to only having a couple samples, I will purchase a full bottle when I hit a milestone on this podcast. I've already talked to my partner about it, and we've decided that once I hit a specific milestone, I'm purchasing a big bottle. It was supposed to be my graduation gift to myself a couple years back. But when I went to purchase it, it was sold out. And then I may have forgotten. When doing this research, I did learn that there is an oud cashmere mood, and I am more than intrigued. Anything that has cashmere in the name has me immediately sold. Unfortunately, I don't know what cashmere smells like. My cashmere sweaters have never had a distinctly different scent than normal sweaters, so that always throws me for a loop. But every time I see the word cashmere, done deal, I'm buying it. It's in my cart. I also saw, when I was doing this research, that they had a velvet mood with cinnamon and saffron, just a different variation of oud velvet mood. Are you joking with me? I'm gonna have to get all of these. Do you understand that? Okay, oud satin mood is a lesser known but still incredibly well-loved scent with notes of oud, vanilla, amber. Is a branch of its mother fragrance oud, which has notes of oud, cedar, and patchouli. Let me just paint you a picture of what oud satin mood smells like. Go ahead and close your eyes. Relax. Should I throw some ASMR at you with this? I'm not gonna, but should I? Okay, so think Great Gatsby, champagne-colored satin gloves to match your gorgeous party gown, neck decorated with jewels and pearls, same with your rings and bracelets, jewels all over. Oldies instrumentals playing in the background. And the most gorgeous art collection you've ever seen lines the walls. It smells like success and everything that I want to be. I want to be this perfume when I'm older. Anyway, a 2.4 fluid ounce bottle of this rings up to $310. That is so sick. I love that. If everyone who's ever listened to this podcast could donate $1, we may have enough money to buy a bottle of Oud Satin Mood. The next fragrance is Baccarat Rouge 540. We are 7 episodes into this podcast, and I've talked your ear off about Baccarat Rouge 540 already. It is such an iconic, sensual, ambery scent. It's gonna cost you upwards of $350, but I think for its performance, for its ingredients, for its masterful art and dedication to the fragrance, it's well worth it, especially since it was created in collaboration with the Baccarat Crystal for the 250-year anniversary. Fun fact, Baccarat Rouge 540 regularly tops the European sales charts, according to Vogue.com. For good reason. I can identify Baccarat Rouge 540 on anyone, and I smell it often when I leave the house. Also, isn't that so crazy that I smell it often while leaving the house, and I'm in the Midwest? Midwest girls are hip on Baccarat Rouge 540. You would think, you would smell it a lot in big cities, Chicago, New York, LA. Midwest, we're hip. That's how you know you've made it. So next one that he is the creator of is Burberry Her. This is one of my personal favorites. I'm actually wearing it today. And that was unintentional, but once I grabbed it, I was like, oh yeah, I should wear this today. It's a deep, woody, lightly fruity scent with hits of raspberry and floral. I would highly recommend this fragrance for anybody who's in their 20s trying to really get into fragrances. I wear it very often when I'm forced to go to the office. It says, take me seriously, but also, I'm cool, I'm kind, I'm a girl's girl, please be my friend. A 3.3 fluid ounce bottle of Burberry Her will run for about $170 on Ulta's website. I will say I've had mine since 2021, and my bottle is more than halfway full. It is still kicking. It's such a great investment. I nearly blind bought it. The first time I smelled it, I was working my retail job, and one of my most favorite coworkers, it was her signature scent. And every time she would come in, I was like, oh my God, what are you wearing? That smells insane. And she told me, and at the time I didn't have the money for it, but then I saved up, and as soon as I got the money, I said, mine, put it in basket. It's an amazing scent. I cannot recommend it enough. Okay, so the next two I haven't personally smelled, so we're just going off of what the internet says. La Maison from Jean-Paul Gaultier. It is one of his most iconic fragrances, the most well-performing fragrances, one of his first breakout fragrances. It is a masculine fragrance leaning more into lavender, fresh, clean, that kind of scent profile. The website says that La Maison Cologne employs the power and freshness of mint. This lavender cologne for men invokes the familiar, comforting scent of shaving soap and is transformed by the sensuality of vanilla. A 4.2 fluid ounce bottle will run you about $120. And then the last fragrance that he's most known for is Elizabeth Arden's green tea. I feel as though I've seen her in Marshall's often, but I don't really have much to say about this fragrance. It's a refreshing, bright fragrance. Elizabeth Arden describes it as the fragrance that energizes the body, excites the senses, and invigorates the spirit. Brimming the sparkling flavors, the scent harmoniously intertwines natural ingredients to form an uplifting, revitalizing, and balanced fragrance experience. And this has a $35 price point. I have a lot to say and a lot of thoughts about MFK. This is one of my favorite perfume houses. Like I mentioned up top, once I can, I'm getting every single bottle. I'm so intrigued by Oud Cashmere Mood. I genuinely, in my heart of hearts, think that I will be purchasing that sooner rather than later. As far as current day MFK, it doesn't look like anything is set to be announced for 2024 yet, but who's to say? We're in February. It does look like their social medias are kind of pushing their Gentle Fluidity duo. It is Gentle Fluidity regular. It kind of has like a silvery vibe. And then there's Gentle Fluidity Gold. I haven't smelled them, but I'm sure they're incredible. When I tell you I've never had a bad experience with MFK, I've gotten a couple of their samples just to like try it out. I have Baccarat Rouge. I have Amorous Femme. I have La Rose. I have Oud and Oud Satin Mood. All of them have been incredible, and they have different moments for wearing them. So I would wear Amorous Femme more in the springtime, you're outside in the flowers. La Rose is more romantic. I would wear it on a date, perhaps on my wedding day. Who's to say? And then Oud Satin Mood is when you need to feel like a boss. Sorry, I don't cuss on this. But it's a boss babe. Who's to say what's in store for the brand? But hear me loud and clear. If there's ever a brand who wants to send me PR just for funsies, Maison Francis Krukdjian, I will give you my address any day of the week. I will give you anything you want ever. Putting that out there, shooting my shot, please. My last closing thought before we wrap it up. I hate when people say this when referring to perfumers, but unfortunately, this time it's true, and I did use it in this episode already, so go ahead and block my number. He has a great nose. When I say that, I mean he knows what works together. He can identify these incredible and create these incredible fragrances. Maison Francis Krukdjian, his work is so spectacular, and I hope I get to experience all of his creations in due time. With that, I urge you to go look at their website and see what they have to offer because, wow, I think I'm fangirling. Would you consider this fangirling? Who's to say? Okay, so that is all of the information I have on Francis Krukdjian. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. It was really fun to deep dive in my research, and recording this has been fun. Did you have fun? Okay. If you'd like to keep up to date with what we've got in store, go ahead and follow us on Instagram and I'll also have my Pinterest in the episode notes as well, if you'd like to go follow me on there. I'm not as active, but I'm working to be more active on there. So within the next couple weeks, I'll start pumping out content on Pinterest. Go ahead and like the show, follow the show, rate the pod, all the things. And I think my final decision about what I'm going to make for lunch is toasted ravioli. Yeah. Okay. I I hope to see you guys next week. And goodbye.